Welcome to the Exodus Companies podcast. My name is Jared. I am the CEO and founder of the Exodus Companies. This is a movement from culture to build community. Midget football played a small but somewhat significant role in forming me as a young man. I think we often forget how powerful lessons learned as young men will be to us later on in life. I was reminded recently of a flashback of a memory from when I was probably only 10 or 11 years old. I was driving my Jeep into work a few days ago, and for some reason, my mind drifted towards this missed opportunity that happened during that period of my life. Maybe it was a subconscious thought due to my relentless desire to plan for my business, but maybe it was placed into my mind to remind myself to take opportunities that come before me. Regardless of the reason, it brought me to a place where I remember missing what felt like a big opportunity. It was an evening practice. Our coaches were herding us around in our gear like cats, trying to make some form of order out of the chaos of managing wiry, loud, and unfocused young men. On this evening, my coach watched me throwing the ball back and forth with another young man that I had been partnered with. He made a comment about my skill, and he asked me to throw some more. He complimented me on my ability to land the ball where it needed to be. The next few plays that evening, he placed me in the practice plays as quarterback. I could run. I could make or change decisions in a split second, and I was strong for my size and age. I could land that ball accurately, or about as accurately as you would expect a boy around the age of 10 to be able to do. That evening, I led the plays under the coach's leadership. But do you know what happened after that practice? Nothing. I never played quarterback in another game. I never pushed to see growth in myself. And in fact, I was getting bored of football. And if I'm being honest with myself, I only ever really gave 50 to 60% of myself to becoming the best that I could be. And the coach saw that, I am certain. I had the ability and the capability to do so much more, yet I decided to not apply myself. No doubt that is why the coach never called me into the play going forward. While that might seem silly as an innocent example of missing an opportunity, it is a valid and tangible example for many of us. My coach gave me a shot to prove myself, and I did briefly, but I did not apply the desire to perform any further than that one night of practice. I can't blame anyone but myself. And isn't it ironic that we tend to blame external factors on our inability to act in the moment? We blame our failure on things outside of our control. We never could have seen that coming. How was I supposed to know that it would turn out like that? They should have told me sooner. We make excuse after excuse, but if we're honest, we hold ownership for our failures. Maybe you never saw an opportunity coming, but you certainly could spend time now positioning yourself to better take advantage of future opportunities. That is something to consider. Have you ever taken a minute to think about that? You have the power to position yourself. You might scoff at me and shrug the idea off, but let me explain. Some of you listening want to start a business, but you aren't sure how to fund that from the start. Are you free of debt? Can you maintain a personal budget? Are you driven by delayed gratification? Are you willing to accept furthering others before yourself? If you answered no, then you are in for a rude awakening. I know some of you will ask me how any of that matters. What does personal debt have to do with it? Well, for one, if you can't manage your own finances well, how do you plan to manage your business's finances? Another thing to consider is that you never know what opportunities will present themselves. I know I've often prayed for opportunities to be shown to me, but every single time I've had to put in the work into myself to position myself for that opportunity. It's like God was trying to say to me, sure, you can have that, but to get there, I need to see you do this. Fill that blank in for yourself. What step will be required of you before a door is opened? While it is true that hindsight is 20/20, how do we correct our vision right now in this moment? How do we make sure that we are equipped with the tools we need so we have a better chance of success when we are blessed with an opportunity? Let's reframe the question. How do you guarantee that you'll miss an opportunity? Let fear drive your decisions. Be lazy or generally lack strategic plans in your life. Become ill or unhealthy. Spend money recklessly. Spend your time as a consumer rather than a producer. Never seek wisdom from those ahead of you. Only do what feels good. Never do anything uncomfortable. Push away people that drive us towards more. Believe we are the perfect versions of ourselves in this moment and follow what everyone else is doing around us. As a young man, I struggled relentlessly with the image of myself and who I was. I often found myself taking the path of least resistance because I fooled myself into safety. I never viewed myself as the man I could become, and because of that, I missed opportunities. So what is my commitment now? For starters, I try to be as intentional as possible with the actions in my life. I want to do well in the 7 F's of culture so that I can position myself to jump when it's time to jump. The 7 F's of culture are what drive the Exodus company, and they are faith, family, fitness, finance, freedom, fulfillment, and fruition. By focusing on becoming excellent in each area, we will position ourselves to execute on opportunities. This doesn't mean that opportunities will suddenly start flooding your life. Sometimes we create opportunities in our lives, and other times we react to good opportunities that come to us. But one thing I am certain of in my life, when I have taken time in the past to better position myself, I've been more successful and I've experienced more good opportunities. Create that mental shift in your mind today. Commit to building yourself. We all know how that saying goes. When opportunity knocks, open the door. Seize the opportunities. Thank you for listening to the Exodus Company's podcast. Our mission is to create a new revival of culture through our podcast, media, and hard goods that we manufacture. We are far more than just a podcast of thoughts. We are creators of tangible goods made here in the United States. If you found value in the podcast episode, we simply ask that you pay it forward. You can do this in several different ways. You can subscribe to our podcast and leave our podcast a rating and review. You can also subscribe to our various YouTube channels. Be sure to follow us on Instagram as well. Our Instagram page is typically private, but we will be making it public for the month of March. That is a great opportunity for friends and families to check out what we are about and to see the message of cultural revival. After March, we will return the page to private to maintain the core group of the Exodus. The last way we will ask for support is by purchasing our products through our various businesses. We know that we are in economic hard times, so it is more important than ever to be putting your money wisely into businesses that are pouring back into the culture. Audit who you support and only support those who will fight for our nation, our rights, our people, and our culture. If you feel like we have done our part and you are blessed with excess, consider supporting us at our brands, TA Targets, Arcane Co., Lantern, and of course, here at the Exodus Companies. We have a special code that will work to save you 15% off of most of our products, now available for a very limited time. Use code EXODUS15 at checkout on our sites to save on select products. That code again is EXODUS15 at checkout. We thank you for sharing this podcast and paying it forward. We thank you for doing the legwork and the hard work inside of culture and your community, and we are honored for you to be a part of this cultural exodus.